Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam. How are we doing? I am having horrible allergies today. I was also planning to sprint for a long time today. That was the big plan, big early Halloween sprinting, but that unfortunately is not able to happen today. But instead, we shall spend my day off reading and editing instead. But hello, this is going to be my little vampathon, readathon reading vlog. But this is a fun little, I think annual at this point, readathon hosted by Jody, and I will leave her, of course, down in the description. But there is a bingo board in which you want to try to succeed. I will be doubling up a whole heck ton because there's just no way that I can read so many books right now. So I have 5 for this video. I've already read the first 2, so that means I have to read 3 today. So this will probably be a late upload. Thank you for watching if you are. But yeah, so I'm going to try and complete the little bingo board with my picks. And the first 2 things that I read that will mark off 3 of the prompts are Garlic and the Vampire, and then the sequel, Garlic and the Witch, which are both middle grade graphic novels, and they're very sweet, they're very wholesome, they're very quick and easy reads, there's not a whole lot to them. So in this we are following a little garlic, actual literal garlic plant, named Garlic, and there is this witch, Agnes, who kind of made all of these vegetables and herbs and whatever. I don't know, is garlic a vegetable? She basically made her garden sentient so that they could help her with the gardening, and they go to a farmer's market to sell the wares and stuff. It's very cute, very sweet, a little weird, but whatever. Don't think too hard about it. But there is a possible vampire who moved into the castle on the hill. And who did they send to scare that little vampire away? Garlic, of course, because vampires don't like garlic. It only makes the most sense. And yeah, it's just a little story of understanding each other and getting to know each other for who you are. Garlic goes to the vampire and, gets to know him a little bit, and the Count is very cool. And it's just sweet. It's just wholesome. In Garlic and the Witch, which is the sequel, Garlic is noticing changes about themselves as well as the other produce in the bunch, and that's evolving over time, and they go on a little bit of an adventure, Garlic and the Count, to find a missing ingredient that the Count needs. So yeah, they're both just very cute, very sweet. There's not a whole lot to really say about them, but they're nice. I gave them each probably 4 stars. It's nothing crazy, they're just a cute, sweet, middle grade graphic novel read. Not much to say, but I do recommend. They're very nice, very cute. So those were my first 2 picks, my first 3 boxes checked. Let's go. And the next book that I listened to for this checked off the gothic prompt, checked off the horror book prompt, and checked off the gothic cover prompt was A Multitude of Dreams by, I think, Mara Rutherford or something like that. And this has been on my TBR for so long. Since I heard it come out, I have been pretty interested in this, pretty intrigued. Mostly the cover. It's such a pretty cover. I didn't know anything of what this was about when I decided to pick it up, besides it was tagged vampires on Goodreads. So that's how I knew, because I googled some vampire books. This is what came up. So when I picked this up, I read the Goodreads synopsis. So we're following a Princess Imogen, and we're following a Nico Mott, and those are the 2 characters, but we have 1 narrator for this book, so I kind of got characters confused because Princess Imogen talked to this other guy, Greymont, and I thought Greymont and Mott were the same for a while, and so I was kind of confused. It took me a little bit to get my bearings with everything. This definitely would have benefited having a male narrator for Nico's chapters, but it's a dual POV. It is a old-timey, medievally kind of story, because we have kingdoms, but there's this blood plague that happened, and we know that our main character pretty early on isn't who she says she is. Princess Imogen's not who she says she is. She has a hidden identity, a secret, a pretty huge secret that is pretty important and integral for keeping, because the king is going mad, and so we have to, keep his sanity in mind. But basically after, during, when the plague began sprouting up, and taking over the kingdom kind of shut its doors. Like, it took what it needed from the village and the like people and locked their doors and kind of sent people away, and like the kingdom had to fight for themselves while the king and his family kind of lived lash. They pretend like nothing is going on outside, but they boarded up all the windows. Like, they don't leave, nobody comes in or out of the castle, so it's like very hush hush, and they kind of talk themselves into forgetting like the cruel world outside, basically. And so we learned that Princess Imogen is actually a Jewish girl, Seraphina, and Jews in this fantastical world are like the scapegoats. They are what everybody's like, oh, they caused the plague, which is something that happened in real life. This really touches on anti-Semitism and how people used to look at the like use the Jews as the scapegoat to be like, they actually caused the plagues on us, like it's their fault. And this is kind of playing into that word, like, I guess playing into is not right, but it's educating people like me who didn't know that about history. Like, I didn't know that Jews were blamed for that kind of stuff, so it was cool to see it in this fantasy lens. I know like some people critique this like in their 1 and 2 star reviews, being like, this is a fantasy world, it's weird to like talk about Jews, like Jews are clearly from Earth. And like, okay, pal, like I think I think there's a little bit a ridiculous comment to be like, sorry, you can't have earthly things in fantasy. It just doesn't anyways. But yeah, basically this is talking a lot about anti-Semitism and really, you know, touches on that, which I thought was really well done. And not Jewish, so I can't really like speak to the rep or anything, but she's just a girl who was plucked from her life during the plague and brought to the kingdom to replace Princess Imogen and basically make the king happy, because they thought that like he would only get worse if he thought that Imogen was dead, because Imogen's like the favorite. And so yeah, that's basically the story. You've got Princess Imogen as Seraphine in the castle, and then you have Nico, who's outside, and he's been hunting and working with this guy, Lord Crane or something. Nico's chapters kind of confused me for so long, especially like leading up, because I thought that Lord Greymont and him were the same, and so like every time Lord Greymont and Princess Imogen, Seraphine, were talking, I was like, oh, they're so cute together, like this is really sweet. And then I was like, wait, that's not Nico. Wait, the relationship I'm rooting for hasn't even met yet. Wait. And so there was definitely like a moment for me to like snap out of that. But then Nico does make his way to the castle. There's like talk of the king speaking with another kingdom and a Prince Martin in potential hopes of marrying him to Imogen. And Seraphine, all she wants is to leave. Like, she just wants to go see if her family's okay. Like, she hasn't seen them in years, and she just wants to leave. So that's, like, her main goal. And Nico comes in, and that is when we get introduced to the plague and what's really going on. And as we meet the outside world a little bit and see what's really happened to everybody. And one thing that I liked about this was I knew that vampires were going to be in this book, because I'm clearly reading it for this video, and the Goodreads has it tagged Gothic and vampires, and it came up in like generic vampiric book searches, and so I was like, of course it's gonna have vampires. But for whatever reason, when we got the twist of the vampires, which I guess a lot of people didn't know about, and a lot of people don't like this book had vampires, I guess like that twist, I guess it's not in the synopsis, and so like I guess if you didn't know it was a vampire book because maybe like you didn't see Goodreads prior, or maybe the Goodreads tags newer, I don't know, man. But basically people weren't happy that this was a vampire book. They felt like it cheated the book and like made it worse or something. I don't know. I genuinely, I was listening to it, and then the vampires happened, and I was like, wait, there's vampires. Like, I completely forgot that vampires were going to exist. I completely forgot that vampires were going to be in this, and I don't know why. Like, it's a blood plague. I obviously like, that makes the most sense. But yeah, it shocked me. I was genuinely like, I'm so excited. I would say that the story definitely is a slow build-up. The first like 2/3 definitely are on the slower side. You're really like getting to know the characters, getting to know the like political climate, like what's going on in the world a little bit, because you have these two POVs of different statures. So you've got like the princess, and then you have like a commoner, but each of them kind of fake a role, especially when they first meet. And I really liked the tropes of this. I liked the false identities. I liked the wanting to get away and escape. There was a lot in this that I did enjoy. I definitely enjoyed the last like third when the actions really happen. Like once the vampires get introduced, that's when things start to go down, and that's what I was most excited for and like interested in, and that's what I was like, yes, give me this. That's when I was really vibing with the book. But in the end, I think it's gonna land on like a solid 3.5. I will round it up on Goodreads to 4 though, so I guess a 3.75 if we want to be all technical or whatever. But I did like this. I thought that the gothic like writing was good. I thought that the relationships between characters were really strong for me and really worked for me, and I've been struggling lately with like anything remotely character driven. So this was like a nice balance because I really liked all the characters. I was really rooting for a lot of them. I was interested in the world, and I was super enjoying the action towards the end. Like this just had a lot going for me that I ended up really liking. Thank goodness. I was so worried I would end up hating things. I don't know why. I've been having a bad reading month for how many things that I've been reading and wanting to read. I've had like maybe 2 5 stars this month, and one of them was a reread, and the other was a graphic novel or like a manga. So like not quite the same thing, but I'm glad that I enjoyed this. It definitely felt a little bit long and had it's still like a good pace. It just was like more of a slow burn, if you will, which I don't typically love as much. But yeah, overall I did like this. 3.5. I'm happy with this. And the cover is so pretty. I'm so happy that I liked it because the cover, I don't own it on my shelves, obviously, or else I'd be holding it for you. But the cover, I'm so obsessed. I love it so much. Okay, so that was my current read. I will now be starting the Southern Book Club's Guide for Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. It's a mouthful. Most times when I type it, I say the Southerner's Guide to Slaying Vampires. That's not quite it. But yeah, I'm excited to see where this one goes. I read one Grady Hendrix in the past, and I did enjoy it, so hopefully I will enjoy this one as well. But I know this one's like pretty widely liked by the masses, so I'm excited to see where I land with this one. Hello, it's a bit later. I should drink water. PSA to anyone watching. Do you have water with you? You should get water. You should take a sip. I will do that after we talk about a little bit of The Southerners Book Club Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. Oh my god. It's such a mouthful. So in this we are following a woman, Patricia, and she has 2 kids, Corey and Blue, and she's married to her husband Carter, who works a lot, long hours, works a lot through the night, doesn't often hang out, and the family isn't like super around quite as much as he should be, and doesn't like support he does support the kids financially, but not like there emotionally for them all the time, you know? And he also has his old mother living with them for the time. She's not doing so well. There's a bit of a cognitive decline potentially happening, so she's seen and painted as a bit of a mad woman. But after an incident happens, which is a wild start to the book, we meet after the death of a lady after the incident. I don't want to spoil it because like it blew me away and I didn't know about it prior, so I don't want to tell you, even though it does happen like pretty early on. A woman dies in the neighborhood, and we meet this man, James Harrison. Is that correct? James Harris? James. And him and Patricia kind of grow a bit of a bond. Like they're kind of friendly and getting to know each other. Patricia is also in a book club with some of her neighbors. Very like white suburbia in a sense. Even though like it's set in the South, these are a bunch of moms coming together to read different books and talk about them and kind of just like get away from like their kids or their lives or whatever they've got going on. So they just kind of get around and chat. It's been a bit of a slow start, a little bit of a I don't know what the point of all of this is for type of thing. We're just getting to know the characters and like the world. I haven't read A Best Friend's Exorcism or My Best Friend's Exorcism, which was I think Grady Hendrix' debut, but that was set a few years prior to this book in the same neighborhood or like close to. And while that one like more so addresses the satanic panic from the kids' perspective, this is like the same time period, the same sort of thing, but from the mom's or parents' perspective, and that is where this book was born, which I do think is an interesting concept. So I am excited to see where it goes from here. But at this current moment, I don't like Patricia that much. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really care about her or the neighborhood or these women and like them reading books, and her relationship with James seems fine, but like I don't really know what is fully going on. But I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna figure it out. We're going to pretend that this lighting is good and normal and not overly bright. It's fine. I have finished Southerners Book Club Guide to Slaying Vampires, and it is interesting. There's a lot of characters, so it's kind of hard to keep track of everybody. But for the most part, I did like it. It was creepy. Like 33% in, there was a rat scene that I the horror in this was scary. It did have an effect on me. It did freak me out a little bit. It made me a little comfies. But I did like it overall. We're basically following Patricia, who finds out that there's a vampire amongst the neighborhood, and her and the book club are going to come together and save the day. It is kind of like funny in its premise, but I do also love the idea of like moms who read smut together, coming together when the kids are away to talk about what's happening in the neighborhood, kind of like a neighborhood watch, but not quite to that extent. Everyone kind of thinks that Patricia is mostly going insane during all of the events that are happening in the book, but I did end up liking Patricia more. But it's also like the undying love of a mother, where Patricia really cares for her kids and like will protect them at all costs, whatever that may be, while her husband Carter kind of sucks. So, you know. But yeah, I think overall, I think it's gonna be 4 stars. I did like it. It was a good listening experience. Bonnie Turpin narrates the book, and people love her. I would say this is the first audiobook from her that I've enjoyed listening to. Sometimes I just don't love her voice. I know, I'm sorry. But I did like this one. I thought it was a good audiobook. It's a little bit long, but the horror elements, Grady Hendrick knows how to make me get shivers. Like, oh, it's just always so spooky. But yeah, it was very spooky. I really like the horror elements. I hope to continue my Grady Hendrix journey, because I really enjoyed the 2 that I've read. The other one that I read was How to Sell a Haunted House, which I know is not a haunted house story, but the horror element in it does freak me out. So I really enjoyed that one as well. So yeah, I think Grady Hendrix might be the author for me. I've been enjoying the horror picks that I picked up so far. I think the next one I might read is My Best Friend's Exorcism. But yes, I'm so glad that this one won. This has blood on the cover, has a thrilling mystery element to it. Is a book I could sink my teeth into because it's long. And there was another one that it fit for that I can't remember. Oh well, you can see on the board that it fit for another prompt as well. So yes, that was the current read. I have one left, one more to read that will cross off most of the things. I think the only one on the bingo board I'm for sure not getting is the adaptation. Originally I was like, I'm gonna read Dracula. Babes, that audiobook is 19 hours long. I just don't have that time right now. I simply don't have the time. I wish I could read Dracula. I forgot how chunky it was. So maybe someday, just not right now. So instead, I will be reading a Carissa Broadbent. I have, you can see up here, the Crowns of Naxia series. I've only read the first one, The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and I really liked it. I did read the first book in Carissa Broadbent's other series, and I didn't like it. But I think I'm gonna like this one. This is Slaying the Vampire Conqueror, which is a part of the Crown of Nyaxia world, and I don't know how it relates, but I definitely need to, like, now I can tie it all up. The third book, I think it might be a different character, but like the third book in the world, or in the series, I don't know the behind the scenes yet. That's coming out soon though. So yeah, I definitely want to finish up that series, and this is technically a part of it. So I'll be reading Slaying the Vampire Conqueror. This is also the first book in the Mortal Enemies to Monster Lovers series, which is like 5 different romance authors coming together to write some books all about enemies to lovers. So I've read the last book in it, which is Slaying the Shadow Prince, which is in the Blood and Steel world, which I love. It's following Drew and Tamsin. Oh no, I'm forgetting character names, that's bad. But I really like that one, and so I'm hoping that I will also love Slaying the Vampire Conqueror. You can barely tell, but I really like this cover. I'm very excited. So I have obviously it on Kindle, and I have the audiobook on Audible because it's an Audible exclusive. So yeah, we're gonna read this. Content warnings. Please note that this story contains subject matter that may be difficult for some, including violence, war, drug addiction, violence against children, and explicit sexual situations. So yeah, we're gonna get this on. It's 436 pages, so it's gonna take me a little bit. But yeah, I will check in with you guys when I have more to say on it. I'm excited. I genuinely don't know what it's about. I don't know who we're following. I don't know what it's about. I just know that it's set in the same universe, so hopefully I like it. I am really hoping that you cannot hear my dog right now, so I'll try to make this quick. A lot has happened tonight. We had some pouring rain, some thunder and lightning. My dog's gotten a little tiffle about food, which doesn't normally happen. My partner is sick, so it's been a time. I'm a third of the way into Slaying the Vampire Conqueror. It is dark outside. Time management issues today were bad, but this is going actually really well. Slaying the Vampire Conqueror, and this we're following it's not Selena, and it's not Sylvia. I'm on chapter 17, 30% in. His name is Atrius. Her name is like Sil something. We'll call her Sai for now, because I can't remember. Oops. In this, we are following Sil, and she is a part of what to others seems like a cult. She's a part of this group, and they all pray to this one specific goddess, and the goddess gives abilities, in a sense, and they've got like a bit of a sisterhood going on. And as you can maybe tell, she has this blindfold, so part of this like organization that she's a part of, you basically you sacrifice your physical sight. So she's blind, but she has these threads to her surroundings, the people around her. She can sense their emotions. She can still see things just fine, but it's through more of a like sixth sense kind of way rather than like actual visual sight, which I do think is interesting, because she can still see her surroundings. It makes her a warrior and have cool powers. And basically she does the bidding with her sisters for the goddess, who, decides the fate. And with that, she does a lot of like assassin jobs and things of the sort, because they're not really supposed to have a sense of justice, a sense of right and wrong. They just do the will of their goddess, of the site mother, of the weaver, so on and so forth. And she is tasked, after seeing one of her fellow sisters get murdered on a job separate to the incident. Instead, she comes across the Vampire Conqueror. And again, like I mentioned, this is connected to the Crowns of Nyaxia series. And so he is a part of the House of Blood, which is like the bad vampires of the three houses. She sees him and she's like, I'm gonna kill him. And then she doesn't. She is told to stand down, which makes her mad. But then she gets an opportunity from the Sight Mother to send her to basically play spy. So she is going to join the vampires' ranks because of the conquest that they've been doing on this like land of theirs that they're kind of a part of. And so the goddess is like, we gotta take him down, we gotta end him, he's gotta go. So she gets sent, kind of because she has she was like a late bloomer of a sense, like she was I think 10 when she joined, and so she has like a lot of her past ties still, so she does have a sense of justice in her and doesn't like what the conquerors are doing. And so she is like, hell yeah, give me the task, I will do this. And I like how much lore we've gotten to the world of the Crown of Nyaxia. It just, I love the little lore, lots of like goddess talk and so on and so forth. But she kills his seer and becomes the new seer for him, and she's kind of like helping him along the way. She's seeing like what's their plan, what's going on, and then she is tasked to kill him at some point. I don't know when, but yes, this is an enemies to lovers. I am really liking this. I think I've just been needing a little bit of a romantasy in my life. I've been reading so much horror lately, back to back to back to back to back, that this is like a really nice change of pace for me. Who knew? He also has horns, and I'm curious as to why, because that's not a normal vampire thing, I don't believe. But anyways, yeah, I'm liking this. She can like sense a lot of things. God, she's so hot. She can sense a lot of things about him, and he is also just, you know, your typical romantasy dude. He's very insightful and caring, even though he's also brooding and mysterious. He's good at everything, of course. They're both good at everything, of course. But yeah, it's fun. He has a bodyguard, Ericus, helps watch her, and I like him too. He's cool. They've got like a fun little friendship going on. So yeah, I'm liking this so far. Again, only a third through, so I've got a little bit of a ways to go. But yeah, I am pleasantly surprised. I am liking this. Again, I liked this Crown of Nyaxia series so far, so it's not that surprising that I'm enjoying this. But yeah, I'm liking learning about the war and the gods and like the different territories and how they all view each other and so on and so forth. It's politically intriguing. It's got the little moments where you're like, ooh, you're gonna fall in love, how they're gonna no longer be enemies, like how she's gonna go against her sisterhood, which he's sworn to protect her because she's pretending. She's like, oh, actually, I ran away from them and they're gonna try and kill me. So he's like, oh, you be my seer and I'll protect you. So that's a little bargain. But yeah, I'm liking this. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to keep reading, and I will check in with you guys either another third or when it's done, depending on my thoughts and what I have to say. But it is a win so far. I'm having a good time. I'm happy I'm reading it finally. Good morning. It is the next day. I finished this last night, but decided I was going to prioritize sleeping because I worked today, and so I'm going to try and edit this video today before work. I instead went to bed at a reasonable 11 o'clock p.m. and it was beautiful. But I finished slaying the Vampire Conqueror, and I think I want to give it 5 stars. I feel like I've been a real crab lately when it comes to giving out 5 stars. Like, nothing just feels quite like a 5-star, but like, I loved everything about this. I love the characters. I love the journey. I loved the political intrigue. I loved learning about the goddesses a little bit more. I love this world. I like them so much. And really good chemistry. There was 2 steamy scenes in this entire thing. It's hilarious that like Carissa Broadbent, like these are the romantasy authors. This is peak romantasy, but it's really fantasy with 2 adult scenes and a little bit of like them building friendship, which turns into a romance by the end. Like, it's not that heavily romance. Like, she obviously is catching some feels for him and like thinking about him a good amount, but like there's like stuff going on. I will say that the big bad there was a twist in there that I wasn't expecting. I thought that I knew what was going on, and I did not fully understand everything, so that was a pleasant surprise for me. But yeah, overall I had a great time. I was really enjoying everything about this. I really don't have a complaint. It felt good to read. I wanted to keep reading. I didn't want to put it down. I didn't want to like procrastinate it. So I think it's 5-star. It's just not like the strongest of 5 stars, but I think it still counts as a 5-star. I think I still liked it enough. I think it still worked. I think it still did everything that it set out to do and everything that I needed it to do. This was to fulfill paranormal romance, blood used as magic, which I thought was really cool. These blood vampires can use blood magic, and I really liked it. And then also, I'm technically using this for a book with a vampire main character, and although we don't get Adrius's POV, we do get him as like a pretty large secondary character. He is the love romance, he is the vampire conqueror, and I'm gonna count him as a main character, and you can't stop me. That way I can get 4 bingos. Pretty cool. The ones that I didn't complete were A Book with a Haunted Library. I did read Evocation in the same like time period, but it's not a vampire book explicitly, like outright. Like I don't think there's vampires in that world, so I didn't want to count it. I only wanted to read vampire books in this video, but technically Dark Academia setting and Haunted Library, Evocation could kind of fulfill those. And then vampire book to movie, Twilight, Camilla, Dracula, Van Helsing. Like I don't know a lot of vampire movies. The Little Vampire, one of my favorite vampire Halloween movies. Oh my god, it's precious. It has a special place in my heart forever and always. Those were based off books, but I couldn't get the books on my library, so I was sad about it. But yeah, that concludes my little vampy readathon. I'm so happy that I read this. It was a total win. I really enjoyed it. I'm so excited to continue with the Crowns of Nyaxia series now. I think November, I'm gonna just go for it since the 3rd book will be coming out in November, but it won't be coming out in paperback until July, so I can't buy it, but I might just, you know, pick up the audiobook and listen to it. But either way, I'll be caught up. I'm so excited. Okay, well, anyways, thank you guys all for watching. This is technically, like, it's Halloween. Happy Halloween, holy cow. This is technically the end of Booktober. We've done it. I've did it. In total, I skipped 4 uploads, which is the best I've ever done. I'm really proud of myself for that. I had a blast. I really liked the content that I put out, except for one video. One out of all the videos, I was like, this is bad quality. I don't like this. But you know, sometimes you just gotta get up, especially later in the month when I started, like, really slacking off. But I still have one reading vlog to finish, and then I want to upload my TBR game. Then I have the live show for Battle of the Booktubers on Saturday. Hopefully I'll have my final video for Battle of the Booktubers up soon as well. So I have a lot of content still that I want to come out. November will be going back to a rather regular 2 upload a week schedule. But I just want to thank absolutely everybody and anybody who watched a video, who hung out in my live reading sprints. I'm going to continue doing those as well. Switching off between Wednesdays and Saturdays, I think, for a while. But honestly, thank you guys all so much for watching one of my videos, liking, commenting, giving any kind of support. It really meant a lot to me. It really made me, you know, continue on. I've done Booktober in the past, and it always was like a bad feeling because I would miss so many uploads, and like people weren't really watching and didn't really care, and like that's not anyone's fault, but it definitely felt good this year, like having more support. And hello. I think that means I have to go, so thank you all for watching and hanging out with me this month. 2 new months. I will, again, November, normal schedule. We'll celebrate my 3rd year on BookTube, which is crazy. And then, yeah, December, holidays, Christmas, you know the drill. I'll probably do 12 days of Bookmas, just some fun little content. And then, yeah, we'll round out the year. Holy cow, it's coming so fast. I'm not ready. I'm not even ready for it to be Halloween. I need more time. I have barely touched my 12 friends recommend 12 books, guys. So I have a lot of reading to do in November, so wish me luck. And I will see you guys in my next video. Maybe tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. We'll see. Maybe tomorrow. I'm not making promises. Potentially. If not, I will see you Saturday for the live show. Okay, bye!